with these words, I will now request Dr. Rajesh, Senior Regional Director, RC Trivandrum, to please start further proceedings. And thank you very much, sir, for once again for accepting our request to be our resource person for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your very brief but very effective introduction. Let me remind our viewers that we are conducting this program as part of both the Swachhata Abhiyan as well as Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, both of which IGNOU is a very major participant. Today, let me also put on record the fact that this session is going live on both the YouTube and Facebook channels of Regional Center Trivandrum, where a large number of students and other viewers are watching the session live. Though our very respected RC Director has already given a brief introduction about our chief guest, I feel our audience may like to know a bit more about his accomplishments. With this aim in view, let me welcome Sri R. Raja, our Assistant Registrar, to give a more elaborate presentation on the achievements and distinctions of our very esteemed chief guest, Sri Nizamuddin. Over to you, Rajaji.
Pranam, sir. Very pleasant good afternoon to everyone, and pranam from our Ananta Padmanabha Bhumi, Trivandrum, Kerala. It has been such an honor to be a part of today's wonderful event, Online National Webinar on Water Risk Conservation Management, which is conducted from RST, New Delhi. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, respected Dr. Umesh Chandra Pandeyji, Director, All India IGNOU Regional Service Division, New Delhi, and Dr. M. Rajesh, Senior Regional Director, Trivandrum, and all senior officials at IGNOU headquarters, all senior regional directors, staffs, academic counselors, coordinators, LSC functionaries, dignitaries, prospective learners of IGNOU across the country, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thanks, and I appreciate the opportunity given to me by Dr. Rajesh, M. Rajesh, Senior Regional Director, Trivandrum, and coordinator of today's wonderful event. Thank you, sir. On behalf of Indira Gandhi National Open University Trivandrum Regional Center, I would like to extend my heartfelt regards and warm wishes to one and all. Today, we have a distinguished resource person and most respected Sri Nizamuddin A, IAS officer, senior IAS officer. He serves as the Director General, Kerala Institute of Local Administration, and Mission Director, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, Kerala State. Sir holds master's degree both in agriculture science and management and bachelor's degree in law, and joined in state government services as a soil survey officer in 1998. After working in various capacities, Sir held the charge of Land Use Commissioner, Kerala State for almost 8 years, and also Director, Kerala State Remote Sensing and Environment Center for another 5 years. Sir was honored with many state and national awards and officially recognized and respected for his successful implementation in innovative ideas and projects in areas such as watershed-based development and water resource conservation, and land resource information system, innovative water conservation project wise Jal Samruddhi implemented in Katakada constituency of Trivandrum district. In fact, recognized as a best water resource management project. Currently, Sir is providing technical supervision for such innovation project in other part of Kerala state. Sri Nizamuddin A, IAS officers, specific contribution in implementing new initiative for many projects, that is, generation of natural resource and environmental database of Kerala, design and development comprehensive web GIS-based web portal, RM Katakada, containing information on natural resource, boundaries, survey plots with search, overlaying, and print options. Geospatial support to Kerala Rail Development Corporation, KRDCL, in identify the land parcel falling under the alignment for the proposed semi-high-speed rail, that is, information related to feature on the Earth's surface and their geographic area. And leading a core team for carbon neutral Katakada project, Trivandrum could be well become the first project in India, hopes to neutralize greenhouse gases by 2050 or 20 years ahead on the target pledged by Indian government. Space-based information support for decentralized planning for Kerala state, and large-scale mapping of eco-sensitive zone around national parks and wildlife sanctuary in Kerala. Now, So much of achievement is there to explain. Now, due to the time constraint, it won't be possible to express all his achievements. And best wishes from IGNOU to Sri Nizamuddin IAS officer, was a student of IGNOU MBA with Human Resource Management from Indira Gandhi National University. Actually, IAS officers are not only respected by public, but also the peer in civil service. And great power comes with great responsibility. Know as a drop, unknown is the ocean. So today we are going to talk about the water conservation. So that's why I said, know is the drop, unknown is the ocean. With a request, I welcome Sri Nizamuddin IAS officer to address a keynote address. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, very good afternoon to all of you. I'm really privileged to be back in my family, actually. Yeah, I have done my MBA from IGNOU Regional Center, Trivandrum. So it's back to home feel to me. Respected Dr. Umesh Chandra Pandey, Director, Regional Service Division. Dr. M. Rajesh, who is the Regional Director of Trivandrum, and other regional directors, academicians, and all other respected viewers. Actually, this is a very big topic to be discussed, but I will try to restrict within 40 minutes so that we can have a small discussion also, because I'll be interested to present before you some basic aspect of water conservation, which many of you may be aware. And also a small case study wherein we have, as you have mentioned in the introduction, where we have done in the on constituency here, and also a small way forward, so that as IGNOU is one of the leading institute in our country to take these activities forward, I've just tried to give some light to the way forward activities also, so that since all from the different parts of the country are participating in this event, it will be a way through for the other viewers also. I hope my presentation is it's visible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it okay? Yeah. Shall I continue? Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
I
can
continue,
sir.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. So okay. See, this is the water cycle. What we all know. We have studied all this. So now what we feel in Kerala, or what we see in Kerala, is that here you can see that the surface flow is only 40% and the groundwater flow is 60%. That means in the earlier period, the topography, the land use, the soil condition, etc., help the rainwater to be conserved to the maximum extent. Wherein, as you know, in Kerala we have the forest in the highlands, followed by the plantation in the midlands, and in the lowlands. In the lowland, we have the paddy fields where the water is stored. Hello.
Sir, can you mount the slide once again, because the slide is not visible?
Which one?
Your slide is not visible, sir. It has gone off the presentation mode.
Now is it okay?
So, Dr. Rajesh, please look at the options, please. Restrict the people. Unwanted people joined, it looks.
Yeah. That we are going through that. Sir, can you once again put it in presentation mode, sir? Because the slide has gone off presentation mode.
No, here it is there actually. So I'll just restart it. Yeah.
शादी हुई थी ना कितने?
No, it's not. Yeah. Is it visible now?
No.
But I can see it here.
तुम्हारे साथ जो हुआ, तुम्हारी सजा, सब कुछ
remove
It's not visible.
Vivek.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Yeah, this.
There is some disturbance in the line. That's
Yeah, you can remove.
Shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue, sir. Please.
Okay. See, as we know, in India, the irrigated area is only 40%, and the food production from the irrigated area is 60%. So, the way in which the water is used for the irrigation purpose is also important in a country like India, wherein we have only less than 40% of the area under irrigation, and the 60% of the area is rainfed. So the only solution is to increase the productivity in the rainfed areas, for which we need to conserve the maximum rainfall received during the season. So the conservation of rainfall is very important when you see this particular slide itself. I'll just take you to some of the technical terms wherein the water conservation plays a major role. One is the forest ecosystem. As we all know, the forest ecosystem plays a major role, which is in the island area or the ridge area of the watersheds, which conserves the water or which collects the water and which are the groundwater level. And also it has the effects on the land management as well as the vegetation activity, which yields the water, wherein the quantity and quality and also the timing of the water yield. So how much water can be conserved in the forest ecosystem area will definitely play a major role in making the downstream more perennial, or we have a continuous flow of water in the rivers. The other term is the river basin. As we all know, a particular river has a basin area, which is a land area which comprises of numerous subwatersheds and tributaries. I will just take you to the watersheds also. And the management or the land use management and planning is very complex in this particular area, because the land use, the topography, the physiography, the soil, the terrain, everything depends on the quantity of water to be conserved in the river basin area. And if you see the catchment area, so for every river or for every water body, there will be an area which drains to this particular stream. So the area which drains to the stream is called the catchment, and the other is the basin area. So the total land area above a particular point of a stream or a river that drains to that particular point is called the catchment area. Why this catchment area is important is that in order to make a water source, or
some hacker had come in between. That's why there is this disturbance. Sorry, sir. You can continue, sir. But only thing, you may have to mount the presentation once again, because his presentation came in. Really sorry for that.
Yeah, it's okay. Technology is like this, no? So you can manage it. Yeah, we can understand it. I need to restart it.
Yes, sir. You will like to restart the presentation, sir.
Okay. Yeah, it's there. Okay. I'll do it. Okay, it's okay. Now it's visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible now.
No, okay. So, and here comes the role of watershed management also. I'll just go in detail in the watershed management later, so I'm not taking much the time here. See, as we have seen the basic concepts of watershed and the forest ecosystem as well as the drainage system, the water resource management is a important thing wherein we need to have the implementation of best practices for efficient, quantitative and qualitative water planning. Not only planning, the development, distribution and the use. So unless and until we have a detailed action plan or detailed plan for implementing the best practices, wherein we are able to have a quantitative as well as qualitative water. What do you mean by qualitative water planning? I think you all know that. The quantitative water planning is an important thing. See, as I mentioned earlier, in the state like Kerala, wherein we receive 3,000 or more than 3,000 millimeters of rainfall. So the quantity is not an issue as far as Kerala is concerned. But what we see in the field is that we have a drought for more than 4 to 5 months. See, we cannot even imagine or compare with a state like Rajasthan or other state where they receive only 600 to 800 millimeters of rainfall. We receive 5 times the rainfall from the other states. but we are facing drought more than the other states. So the quantity itself is not a matter of, it's not only the matter, the way in which how we are managing plays a major role. And the foundation is the water conservation or reducing the water use through the enhanced functioning of the existing, because we cannot ultimately replace the entire system and go for something. So we have to think of the existing system and the process which is being practiced, but we have to improve the functioning of that particular system by having a water conservation or reducing the water use. As we all know, the water resources are finite resources. The unmanaged and unscientific growth will definitely result in the poverty and also the environmental degradation. We need to, as we all say, say this every time, as we owe to the future generations to establish the development of. This is only in the saying, and we are misusing or misutilizing the available water resources more than what we need, and we are preventing the future generation from the availability of fresh water. So this water source management plays a major role right from our individual itself, from the individual, from the home, from the society, and to the state or the nation. So what we really face is the stress on fresh water. As I have shown you in the first slide itself, there is no stress on water availability, but the stress is only on the fresh water. And there's the demand for fresh water increases every day. It includes agriculture, where we have to have the irrigation as well as the drainage system, the domestic water supply and sanitation, the industry, energy, water is required for energy generation, the water is required for the industrialization. For each and every aspect, we need there's a great demand, or even the demand is more than what we expect, and all are seeking to maximize the stream of social and economic benefits of this particular water resource. The next question is that whether we are in the danger zone. So we need to identify where we are actually for taking up a treatment. Even for a treatment purpose, we need to have a analysis of our samples. No, so we have to see whether we are in the danger zone or in the safe zone. For which we need to have the per capita water availability. See the figures. If you are below the 1,700 m3, we are in the stress. And if you go down below 1,000 m3, then it is water scarce actually. Do you know our position? See. Now, see, right from 1955, we were at 5,300 m3. That's the per capita water availability of India. And now by 2020, we reached less than 1,500, which means that we are in the stress. And the figures or the prediction says that by 2030, we will further go below 1,300, and we are trying to reach the level where we can call our country as water scarce. This is what Dr. Rajesh as well as our respected director has mentioned, that India is now almost in the 144th position. See, the way in which we are falling down is very alarming. So we have to stop this trend and we have to come back. So the decreasing trend is not only a decreasing trend, it's an alarming situation. What are the reasons for this particular water crisis? As we all know, we all talk about climate change. We know that there's rapid industrialization and urbanization. There is a continuing population growth and mismanagement. And see, the first three aspects, the climate change, the rapid industrialization and urbanization, and the continuing population growth. We cannot regulate, no, because it happens beyond our control. And the fourth thing, which is the mismanagement of water resources, wherein if we are able to intervene properly, or if we can put a cut on this, or if we can regulate the activities, we can reduce the mismanagement of water resources, wherein we will be able to have a more. So the future water crises are more likely to be brought on by ongoing disregard of good wastewater management techniques than a real physical shortage of water. So the time is up for utilizing or properly managing the wastewater, or treat it and can be used for the other purposes. And the quality of water resources that are now available has been lowered due to the human activity, as we know, because of the use of we are on the green revolution, we are on the high yielding varieties which requires more fertilizers or agrochemicals, and these are directly discharging the and also the discharge from the industrial waste and the sewerage waste is also affecting our groundwater as well as the surface water. As I have mentioned earlier, the climate change is already changing. It's already there, so we cannot do anything because the increased risk of droughts and floods and the changes in the seasonality of runoff has increased. As I have mentioned earlier, in Kerala, we can see that today we have drought. If you receive a 2 or 3 day continuous rainfall, it turns to the flood system. So the way in which the terrain as well as the other aspects has to be considered and need for the conservation plays a major role. So we need a practice that is clearly, we can see that the practice is very unsustainable model because the groundwater is being pumped from the coastal aquifers as well as the other groundwater sources at an alarming rate than it is being replenished. So the time is up for taking immediate measures for replenishing the groundwater. Unless we replenish the groundwater, the quantity of groundwater will not be increased, and we need to have a proper action or activities or programs or projects wherein we can replenish the groundwater. See, this you may be aware of this particular state. See, it's a lengthy state, and the most critical situation what we face is that all the rivers are flowing.
Slide is not visible, sir.
It's not visible. It is not visible again.
No, sir, no.
Oh, it's again still there's some issue on this. I don't know. Anyway, I'll share it once again. It's there in the screen actually. Much of the time is being gone on this. Okay. Is it now okay? Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now. It's okay.
There is some time regulation, I think, because after some time it is automatically being disconnected. Okay, anyway, see, this is a small state like Kerala, but the thing is that all the drains start from the east, flows to the west. And normally we say in Kerala that if instead of 44 rivers, if we could have a single river which flows from north to south or from south to north, we will be able to manage more water. So see, the elevation in the eastern side is up to 2,700 meters, and the sea level is 0. So from 0 to approximately 3,000 meters, there is a distance of only 100 kilometers. So it itself shows that the Kerala is a very steeply sloping state, wherein the water very fastly flows through the rivers and reach the ocean within 48 hours. So in addition to this, all the infrastructure in the state is from the north to south direction, which cuts the rivers minimum at 5 to 10 locations with the structures. So the way in which the water conservation has to be planned in the state like Kerala is to be more scientific and in a manageable form. And if you analyze the situations, the Kerala is having both the abundance as well as the scarcity. There will not be any other state like this. I think so, because the spatial and temporal distributions which is leading to floods as well as droughts, and we have very short rivers with high elevational difference, as I have mentioned to you earlier, right from 3,000 to 0. And the drying up of wells in summer is now a common phenomena. The floods and landslides are very common in the state now. Even during the last August, we had a very huge landslides throughout the state, which, especially in Wayanad, which takes around 500 lives actually. So it's a very alarming situation here, and the worst sufferers are the poor as well as the landless people. And these are some of the major problems. I don't want to take much of the time because this I have mentioned to you earlier, so I'm just skipping it because the time is also limited. And when coming to the conservation aspect, see, we need to manage the water resource of fresh water as well as to meet the current and human demand. So this is very difficult to, even though it is very easy to present, it's very difficult to do in the field actually. We have to manage the natural source of fresh water. As I mentioned to you earlier, it's very limited in the availability. And also we need to meet the current as well as the future demand. See, these are some of the methods which can be adopted. One is we have to protect the water from pollution. As we all know, even though we say that for the polluters, the water is the major source, so that they can throw the waste there, which will be carried by the water to the downstream, and they are using it as a source for pollution. Actually, we need to plan for a proper redistribution of water. How we can properly manage the water availability to the downstream people, wherein we have to collect or store the water wherever possible, and it has to be redistributed in a proper manner so that all the stakeholders, right from the rich valley, receives the water. Because in the rich area, we need to have a proper plan for the distribution of water, the rational use of groundwater. Now it is very, as I mentioned to you earlier in Kerala, wherein we have 152 blocks. Now the number of blocks which are under semi-critical has gone up to 33. That means almost 1/3 of the 1/5 of the blocks is now under semi-critical area. The afforestation drives which we normally take up has to be planned in a proper manner. The traditional water sources, many of the traditional water sources are being unutilized or destroyed by human intervention. So this has to be renovated. We need to have the modern irrigation or the precision technologies for using the water. We need to increase the forest cover, wherein the water availability or the water which we receive during the rainy season can be properly tapped. We need to have a proper change in the cropping pattern. The flood management has to be planned, because there should be sufficient, as our honorable CM already tell all the experts in the meeting that there should be some room for the river, wherein when the flood system happens or the flood happens, we need to collect the water in other areas, wherein there should be a space for that. We need to conserve the water in the industries. There should be a reuse, and also we have to decrease the runoff. See, I have told you about the watershed approach. You can just see this figure in the right side, which shows that this is the ridge line, and all the streams which collects the water to a particular point, and this outer boundary is the area wherein the water drains to this particular stream. So unless and until we have a proper management plan for this area, this drain will not be perennial. So you can see some activities which is being done in the area to increase the groundwater level as well as the perenniality of that particular river. See, for water conservation, it is not like a single thing, because the water is required for all the departments actually. Agriculture department needs livestock, forest, irrigation. All the departments require this water, and their requirement is for separate purposes. And there are large number of stakeholders. So we need to share the information as well as integrate the activities of these particular departments. What we see in the states, maybe in other states also, that the activities of water conservation are standalone activities by a single department, without considering the concern or without taking the requirements from the other departments. So the plans what we prepare and do it in the field will never give the result what we expect from this particular activity. And as you know, the water ecosystem, wherein we have to have activities on surface water, groundwater, and imported water, and the water loss has to be reduced, the water distribution has to be maintained, and the end user should get the proper water, and the water which is being given out by him, it can be the wastewater, that can be treated and reclaimed and used for this particular purpose. So there should be a proper strategies to avoid the pollution of waterways, the depletion of aquifers, and the degradation of wetlands, which is giving a pressure on the planet's water resources. So with the growing populations and the aspiration of the increased economic growth and climate change, there is pressure to increase for the coming future. This I have mentioned earlier, so I'm not going to the details of that. Time is not there. We should have some strategies to increase the efficiency of water use actually. And some of the activities or the strategies which I feel with my practical experience is that we should improve the water holding capacity of the sub-basins and bring more crop area under irrigation. The precision farming and the micro irrigation to be extended at a larger level, so that the use of water can be regulated to the maximum extent. The intensification of irrigated area development and the water management scheme should be planned for each and every development activities. And the improving the water sources by construction of farm ponds, which gives more area for collecting the water, and also the desilting of lakes and ponds, and the percolation pond formation, etc., wherein we can have a more area or large area under the water which can be stored and used for the future generation. The rainwater harvesting has to be taken up at all levels, wherein we should be able to harvest the rainwater in all the schools, because schools, the plots, that means wherever the water falls, we need to have a plan to collect the water at the place where it falls itself. And we have to identify the fallows, which and cultivate with the less water intensive and more remunerative crop, wherein we have to plan for the crop diversification also. And these are some of the strategies which improve the efficiency in augmentation and application of water, wherein we need to improve the land suitability and capability, which is not directly related with the water. It is related with agriculture. So the activities which we take up in the land should improve the land suitability. We need to improve the moisture regime in each micro watersheds. We need to conserve the soil moisture and prevent soil erosion. The prevention of soil loss in the catchments. I have mentioned you in the catchments in the beginning. So the prevention of soil from the catchments has to be reduced, so that the water bodies or the multi-purpose reservoirs will not be under siltation. And also we have to enhance the in-situ moisture conservation through the watershed programs. We are aware of the watershed program. You can see some of the pictures in the right side, wherein these in-situ activities has been effectively utilized in the constituency where it has been mentioned earlier. And we need to create more farm bonds, and also massive awareness on the 3 Rs, that the reduce, reuse, and recycle has to be taken up, because this 3 Rs, or by reducing, reusing, and recycling the water, we will be able to conserve more amount of water. And these are some of the management strategies. See, we need to identify the critical catchments. There are areas which require more importance for the treatment activities rather than other things. That we need to consider all the wetlands, because these are the areas where the water can be collected when excess water is received. We need to have in-situ soil and water conservation activities. We need to improve the storage capacity of surface water resources, the continued use of water from the irrigation canals. The good sanitation facilities should be there. I'm not going to read all these activities. I'll just share you the presentation, because much of the time has been lost in between. But what I want to mention, or what I want to bring before this August audience, is that we need to have a proper management strategy for each location. This cannot be copy pasted, because the management strategies required in highland, lowland, and midland is entirely different. Not only within the midland, if the slope and the terrain is different, or the soil condition is different, or the land use is different, we need to have separate management practices. So the strategies should be planned in such a way that it should take into consideration the climate or the rainfall received, the soil of that particular area, the land use of that particular area, the terrain of that particular area, and also the slope of that particular area. So these major 6 activities has to be taken into consideration, and location-specific strategies has to be planned for the management activities. And this is the reduce, reuse, and recycle. As we all know, the water by low use of water and low wastage of water, we can increase the water consumption. As we all know, I don't want to take much of your time. The examples for reuse and recycle, you know, rainwater harvesting is one of the best solutions to save the rainwater from going into the sewage. And also the reclaimed water can be used for not for the drinking purpose, but it can be used for the other day-to-day activity, even for the washing the cars, for irrigating the garden, or for other activities. This reused water can be, or the recycled water can be used. See the amount of water which you are using per day. Of the 135 liters per person per day, the amount of water used for drinking and cooking is very less, actually, compared to all the other activities, the bathing, flushing, the washing clothes, everything can be replaced or with water which is being recycled or used. Only the first 2 things, drinking and so the actual requirement for fresh water is also limited to human beings. But what we do is that we use all these 135 liters through the good quality water, which is to be supplied to the other people who highly require this particular water. And these are some of the tips to be taken into consideration. A dripping tap could waste as much as 90 liters a week. See the quantity of water. So this kind of awareness with small messages, small proverbs, or so small this thing can reduce the use of water. So if you are just solving a problem of a dripping tap, you can save 90 liters of water a week. That's all the message what I have to give you. And also with regard to the flush, that is the F. See, we are using flushes with 14 to 20 liters of water, which is being flushed 10 to 15 times a day, wherein this can be replaced with the double system flush, wherein we can save up to 3 or 5 liters in a single flush itself. So see the quantity of water which can be reduced. And I'll just come to this. This is a case study wherein we have done this particular, whatever things which I have mentioned in the last 30 minutes. We have done it in a constituency with the help of a MLA as well as the line departments and the local self-governments. So this is a constituency in Trivandrum, very near to the state capital, which has an area of nearly 10,000 square hectares. And it was under a semi-critical zone when the particular project was implemented. And now, after the span of 7 years, now we are in a situation that we were able to bring a change in that particular area. See, this particular project is an initiative of one MLA, Sri I.B. Sadish, who represent the Katagada constituency. See, the project started without any earmark fund. So, what I want to say, or what I want to stress here is that the projects can be implemented even without any earmarked funds. If there is a vision, or if there is a good leadership by an individual, we can lead a program with the help of other departments as well as the local self-governments. And we prepared a detailed plan. I'm not going to the details of that. We have low cost as well as location-specific solutions on that. We plan for the convergence of the projects. We have active people's participation. We have the involvement of NGOs, youth, and students. I should specially mention IGNOU Regional Center Trivandrum, because they have been involved in this particular project right from the beginning. The students of IGNOU has taken up studies in this particular area, and they have brought out reports, which was very useful for planning this particular activities. So I take this opportunity to thank IGNOU for being a part of this particular program also. And now after 7 years, we are in a situation that we have the visible results in the field. Now we have convergence there. We have the community participation. The groundwater level has increased. The water bodies has turned perennial, and the livelihood improvement. As I'll show you the example of livelihood improvement. And now after 7 years, see, we have the funds under all the departments, because once the program is functioning well, the department as well as the government are ready to fund this particular project. So now we have fund under almost all the departments. This particular project has been mentioned in the 4th Reconstruction Conference held in Geneva, wherein the Netherlands scientists who visited this particular area twice has mentioned this particular project as the best integrated water source management project. This project itself has won several awards and recognitions, and myself has also benefited from this particular project, that I could also back some of the awards, the national as well as state level. See the participation level. I'm not going into the details of that. Extensive awareness was given to the local people. See, this particular activity was done because when the program was initiated, this particular area was under semi-critical block, and the area is having a shortage of water, wherein the people were interested to have a program or sustainable program. So the participation by the local people is very good, and you can see a number of activities which is done as part of awareness, wherein we have the neighborhood meetings, we have the public functions, we have the water clubs in all the schools, we have stream walks, we have done the water quality test using the students, we need the street place. So all the other activities, even we had a separate student water parliament wherein 540 students, you can see the picture also, 540 students participated only on the theme, only on a single theme, the conservation of water. So the need for conservation of water is taken up to the grassroots level, wherein we are able to handhold the local people, including the student community. And you can see the activities. I'm not going to the details of this activity. I request you, the August audience, to go to the site jalasamadhi.com or katagada.lac.com, wherein we have all the activities properly documented, and it's available online also. All the activities are there, so I'm not going to the details of that particular activity also. See, I'll just mention you 4 different activities wherein whatever I have been mentioning during the first 30 minutes time. See, we have done an artificial recharging activity in all the 40 institutions in a particular constituency, wherein we were able to collect 16,000 liters per day. And if you consider 100 rainy days, we were able to tap 16 lakh liters of water recharged on the particular area, wherein this particular water has been taken to the ocean through the surface flow. So a single activity, we were able to tap 16,000 liters of water in a single site into 40. You multiply it into 40 because we have 40 institutions. You can see the structures which is constructed underground, wherein we collect this water. The second thing is the farm ponds. We have constructed 357 farm ponds with an average capacity of 300 m3. It shows that we are able to collect 3 crores liters of water per year, which is normally lost as surface flow. So these are 2 major activities undertaken under this particular water conservation program, whereby we are able to increase the groundwater level. And the third thing is the inland fisheries, wherein we have integrated the livelihood activity with the conservation of water. See, what happens normally is that once we renovate a particular pond, that pond will again be silted, or even it will be thrown by waste, everything. So what we decided is that there should be a small livelihood activity along with the conservation. So we started with 6 ponds, and now it has increased to 117 ponds. Now the farmers are earning 50,000 to 4 lakhs per pond per year. So this is a convergence activity as well as integration of 2 different schemes. And also we constructed temporary check dams using MG Narega. You can see the success in the picture itself. So this has increased the groundwater recharge and also the permeability of the streams. I'll just rush through the table. See, you can see a decreasing trend. See, in 2012 we could get the water at 8 meter below, and by 2016 it has gone up to 9 meter. And this is under dug well. And see, after 2016 there is a reverse trend. See, from 8.73 it has come to 7.52. That means the level of water was increased almost 1 meter from there. And you can see here also, see, the groundwater level has increased 1.75 meters. And you see, these are the 11 blocks in that particular in the district, wherein only in Nemam you can see a reverse trend. See, in Adiyanur it was SOD was 85.95 and it has increased to 89, which means if you reach 90, it becomes a critical block. See, from 74 it goes to 79, from 49 it goes to 58, from 72 it goes to 82. But see, in Nemam, from 73 it comes to 68. That means by purposefully, if you are doing an activity there, we will be able to recharge the groundwater, which can make a particular area perennial. See, you can see on the table, which is published by the Central Groundwater Board, and the recharge from rainfall. See, in all the other blocks, it is around only 2,500, wherein in Nemo we are able to recharge more than 4,000, and also the annual extractable groundwater was increased. So, with what I want to mention here is that with proper scientific management practices, with active people's participation, we would be able to bring back changes there. I'll just finish within 5 minutes. Since you, the experts, as well as the stakeholders and decision makers are with me in this particular presentation, I will just give you a view, because I was also a management student. So taking in my management perspective, I'll just give you 4 cardinal principles which we should take in, which we should keep in mind while dealing with the water source management. One is that we should have a prudence, because we should have good judgment when deciding what policies and institutions to be used for this. At many times we see that it is wrongly done or it is not properly planned, so that the person who doesn't have an expertise in this particular field will put forward some solutions, and it leads or it takes the gram panchayats or the implementing agencies in a wrong direction. So we should. The second thing is that justice. Instead of being motivated just by self-interest or financial gain, we should consider the society and everyone's entitlement to get clean water. Many times what we see is that a construction or a measure for having a water conservation will be planned, taking into consideration only that particular location, because if the water is blocked in a midland area without considering the flow of water to the downstream, because of an activity, the downstream people will suffer a lot and they will not get the water which they require for their purpose. So we should show justice to all the actors. That is why the purpose of water management plays a major role. And also we should have a fortitude. If pollution and other problems affect the adequate and equitable access to water, we should be able to confront the problems and develop a solution. Instead of leaving the solution there, we should be able to develop a solution for that particular. Instead of leaving the problem there, we should be able to develop a solution. There should be a temperance wherein the good decision makers will behave in the best interest of the society, not the individual or that particular area. So these 4 cardinal principles should be kept in mind while dealing with the water conservation activities. These are all just explaining the activities, because the time limit is just crossing. So I just want to rush through this. So I'm not going to the details of this. I'll just share you the presentation. What I want to mention is that we should take into account the needs of all the sectors that use water. Not only the immediate requirement, we should take into account the needs of all the sectors, which includes the agriculture purpose, industries, all activities, even the human along with the animals also should be taken into consideration while planning this. And we should have a sustainable and decentralized water harvesting system throughout the state for having a good storage system and increase the reliable water supply. And this is my last slide. I will just conclude this by saying this because IGNOU can take a lead on this, because we should identify innovative and next-gen solutions to the water sector. Normally, what we do is that we are following the principles what I have shown you. So we should think of having a innovative and next-gen solutions because even now there are measures which shows the results that how we can use the ocean water for drinking purpose. If you can develop an innovative methodology, a low-cost technology, wherein the ocean water can be used, or if it can be treated and used as drinking water, we can have some solution. And also there are some examples wherein the atmosphere can be tapped to have the water, because we have seen it 1 or 2 institutions here where they have a technology developed. And we should engage young talents from the leading universities, including IGNOU and the innovation hubs, to have the location-specific solutions for that particular area. And some of the ideas or some of the innovation or the innovation, I don't say that in innovation thoughts for your innovation. See, can we think of solar-powered water filtration, which is low cost? Desalination, I have mentioned you, the water from the sea, water from air, urban flooding and stormwater management, the low cost, minimal space water harvesting, because now many of the water harvesting solutions take much of it, because that ferrocement and technology and all takes a large space. So can we think of low space technologies, because land is a major issue in a state like Kerala? Decentralized treatment solutions. Instead of taking the entire water to the sewerage system, can we plan of decentralized treatment solutions? The monitoring of water service delivery standards, because it should be properly planned, because at many times it is seen that the quality of water received by the end users is not of proper quality of the potable water. So it has to be done. And the rejuvenation, mapping and management of groundwater aquifers, because normally the people who are using the water are not at all aware of the status of groundwater aquifers. They just see that they receive water in the pipes when they open the pipe. But the water should come from the groundwater. It has to be increased. Unless the groundwater is increased, it cannot be pumped to a tank. And if there is no water in the tank, we will not be able to supply to the users also. So the rejuvenation, the mapping and management of the entire the groundwater aquifers should be done. And only from the best aquifers or the source aquifers, we should take much of the water, and we should replenish also the particular aquifers. And to the maximum extent possible, can we use IoT technologies wherein we can reduce the loss of water even from because we have conducted a study in Katagada which shows that 30 to 40% of the water is lost because of the systems there. So if you can develop some IoT-enabled technologies to alarm you that this is a place where the water is lost, so that you can conserve the water to the maximum extent. So with this, I'll just conclude. I've just taken 5 minutes extra because of the small disturbance happening there. So I could kept to my word, and I am just concluding here. Just one word of concern, that is, at many times, see, now you have seen the Katagada project here. The Katagada project is done with the help of all the experts in the field, and we were able to have a good result on this particular activity. And we cannot, and you should not ask me also, can this be taken to other parts of the state or even the country? What I can tell you is that the way in which or the activities which is how the activities are planned, how the strategies are developed, and how this is implemented in the field, that part can be replicated, because the way in which how the Gram Panchayats are kept in the lead role, and the way in which how the departments are handholded, and the way in which how this prioritization of activities is planned with the help of spatial planning. So these kind of activities can be replicated anywhere. But this, because as I have mentioned right from the first slide onwards, the conservation activity and the management activity has to be decided only with the help of a detailed study of that particular area, which takes into consideration the land use, the terrain, the topography, the slope, the soil, as well as the rainfall or the climatic conditions. So with this, I am just concluding it, but I want to assure you that, or I can very firmly say you that if we have a good plan, or if you have a good team behind a plan, we will be able to, or we will definitely achieve, or we can have a proper conservation activity which gives you the result, not by seeing a high-rise building, but here the groundwater level will be increased, which gives water to the local people or the common people who needs the water at their wells. So with these words, I just concluding. I once again thank IGNOU, especially Dr. M. Rajesh, who is the regional coordinator, who has invited me. Sri Sajid is one of my friends in the regional center, and other colleagues in the regional center. And also, I am deeply thanking Dr. Umesh Chandra Pandey for giving me an opportunity to share my views on water conservation activities. I hope I have done justice in my presentation to the maximum extent possible with the time limits and other constraints. So once again, thank you. Thank you
very much, sir, for such an enlightening presentation. And in fact, all of us have got benefited by this. And I'm very sorry for some disturbance which took place in between. And I was just wondering whether we can have a catalog, any kind of success stories which have been documented, which we can replicate in other parts of the country. Means I'm interested because IGNOU is implementing Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and under that Unnat Bharat Abhiyan are adopted villages. Our students go there, they try to identify the issues involved and try to address them. So if there are such success stories on which they can be sensitized, then they can give them such solutions. So I was very much keen to sensitize these students who go into the UBA villages and our functionaries who manage all these things to be sensitized on these matters. We will send a copy of this video also to all the regional centers and asking them to further make it available to other students. And so that is what I was wondering. And at the same time, whether there are any incentive-based systems which have been involved, because what I have found is that even at the level of villages, it's very difficult to involve the community in these kind of water conservation programs. They do agree with whatever we say, but ultimately they don't do it really in their life. And what I've heard that in some countries there are such incentive-based systems also which have been developed. So can you suggest some such systems which can be useful or replicated in India?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'll answer your second question first, because that is the most important question. See, in this particular program, actually, I'll tell you the backstory of this. See, once he was contesting the elections, 80% of the petitions he received during the election campaign was on water. And it was scientifically proven also, because the groundwater is being decreased. So what he thought is that, or what he put before the officers like me, is that to have a sustainable water conservation model. And he very specifically told that you should not depend on pipe water as well as tanker lorries. And that is not the solution. So it was a challenge for us. So the department people sat together and develop this particular plan. And we are able to handhold the local people because they were in need of water. So we sensitized them to the maximum extent possible so that they should come to this particular project. I will share a detailed presentation on that particular project itself. I had a PowerPoint presentation with me. I'll share it with Rajesh so that he can share it to you, sir. If you can go through that, the entire the story will be included, because I just put the entire activity in just 3 slides, and I can depict all the activities in that particular presentation, and I will share it to you, because if I talk, it will take much of the time. Second thing is that if time permits, you can go and visit a site katakadalac.com, wherein we have mapped all these activities. We have put all the activities which is being done under this particular program, and also the database which is used for the proper planning. So on one side we have an extensive database on this, and then in the other side we have all the activities which is being done, so that we can avoid duplication, and the other department who is going to take up the activity can plan based on the the activity which is already being taken up, so that the financial misappropriation or the financial part can also be saved. And we don't give any incentive, but now all the people, the majority of the people in the particular area are ready to take up this work. I can just quote one example, that the women folk on the particular constituency was saying that, see, whatever activity you tell, we will take it up. That is the conference. So that conference is the incentive what they give to us. Actually, we don't give incentive to them. They give us the incentive that whatever, because the concept of farm bonds, the concept of artificial recharging, these were not seen or practiced in that particular area. We introduced this activity. Now the farm bond activity is being done in the entire state. So this is the incentive. We don't give an incentive to them. They have been handholded, and we took the help of the teaching community as well as the student community for this activity. That's what we are doing. Here, no incentive has been given, sir. So
Yeah,
far.
thank you.
So far.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. Some Sonu Kumar seems to be answering.
So maybe we can take some questions also from
Yeah.
the audience.
Yeah.
If anyone is interested in asking some questions on this very important and beautiful presentation which Sir has made, please come forward and ask the question. Mr. Sonu?
No question, sir. No question.
Okay.
Informative information, Nijamuddin, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, from Regional Center Trivandrum, we had one question. It's not a question, it's a query rather. As you rightly said, we were in some form associated with the carbon neutral project as well as the water management project at Katagada constituency. Now we are also trying to work on making Katagada constituency a 100% graduate constituency as well. That effort is also on. So
yeah, it is there, but I didn't mention here is because this is the topic related to water only. That's why I didn't mention.
I know that, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be the first constituency wherein, with the help of IGNOU, we are trying. We will be bringing the entire constituency as a degree, minimum with degree. All the people will be with degree. That's one campaign which is being done, or activity which is being taken up with IGNOU, and we have all the workshops up to all the Gram Panchayat levels, and now it is on the what we have a number of campaigns. We have identified the people who are going to be enrolled in this particular activity also. So I thank IGNOU for that particular activity on behalf of Honorable MLA. Since it is not, the topic, I just forget to mention that, sir.
No problem, sir. But we would like to know what further we can contribute from our end, from our regional center, especially.
Yeah, sure, sir. We'll associate, because, as you know, this is an open platform wherein all can put in their efforts. That's all, without any incentives.
So, anyone else who would like to ask any question or any query, may please come forward.
Right, sir. I will share you the other presentation on Katagada so that you can share it to Pandey sir also.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. That I was about to actually request you for this presentation.
No, this I have already shared. I will share you the other presentation what you have asked me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And now this particular program is replicated in Dandewada district of Chhattisgarh also. This particular program.
I was just wondering, Dr. Rajesh, means in what way are students of these programs, Master of Arts in Rural Development or other social work programs, they can be involved in this for doing their project works?
Our MSW students are already involved in this. They only had first written that feasibility report and all that. So they are already involved in this process. And time to time, we do.
Add that they are highly involved actually.
Oh.
Yes.
They are highly involved with the help of Art Foundation. That's very good.
So that we have already done, sir. Even in other cases, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Picture also.
Yeah, especially in our UBA villages,
Yes,
if these things can be replicated, that would be really nice to see.
Yes, sir. In fact, this Marnallur Panchayat is one of our UBA village. So there we can definitely do a lot, sir. Taking up that activity. Yes, Dr. Dubeji, please come if you want to ask a question. Okay. Sir, if there are no further questions, we can we can go further for the final phase, which is the vote of thanks. I request my colleague, Assistant Regional Director, Dr. T.R. Satyakirti, to deliver a vote of thanks.
So, in fact, this was a very extensive talk on water sources management and its conservation. We had an extensive talk on the methods of conservation and how to manage it. So, on behalf of the Regional Services Division and IGNOR Regional Center Trivandrum, I extend a heartfelt thanks to our guest who has delivered a talk, Sri A. Nizamuddin sir. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank our Regional Services Division Director, Dr. U.C. Pandey, who has welcomed this particular national seminar. Sir, on behalf of the Regional Services Division and the IGNOR Regional Center Trivandrum, we extend heartfelt thanks to you. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank our Senior Region Director who has been coordinating all the program all over, and I extend a heartfelt thanks to him. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank all my colleagues across all the regional centers and all the participants of this program, and all my colleagues at the regional center. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.
Sir, you are mute, sir.